Hey guys, welcome to Rimworld. So this is a sandbox space game. There's no winning. It's another sandboxy kind of game. Also, everything always ends in a blaze of glory. There's three different ways, like scenarios. There's the crash landed, the rich explorer, and the lost tribe. Essentially, it kind of just determines what you start out with, and stuff like that. Crash landed is there's three people and you start with some stuff and you actually start out with some stuff on the map. You can actually download some custom games and there's a bunch of Steam, like this is a big modded game. So the reason I'm playing this is simply because I love this game. And one of the things about this game in particular is it's a storyteller. Essentially, you get an AI storyteller and the game starts out slow, so that you can actually kind of start out and then everything increases. So Cassandra here, she is the classic story. So you start out at a low curve and it slowly increases and the tension gets worse. I often play Phoebe here. She's kind of random, and so is Randy down here. He doesn't follow any rules, he'll generate random events, and he doesn't care if they make a story of triumph or utter helplessness. I'm gonna go ahead and play classic here. I'm gonna play some challenge, which is basically for the casual players. I could play rough, but I think some challenge is fine. You start out with a different seed that you can kind of choose. You can choose the size of your map. Let's just do destroyed. So once you generate the world here, you get a map, and this is the landing site. You can select a random location. I like to do like a temperate forest or something like that. Here we go. This one will work. I like the growing period being all the way around, or year round. And then you get to choose your people. So there's a couple things going on here. You've got your name and what type of person it is. That determines their skills. They've got a childhood, which determines their skills, and an adult determines on what they can and can't do. Like this person can't cook, cut plants, can't smith, can't tailor, can't craft, can't haul, and can't clean. So basically incapable of any dumb labor, crafting, or cooking. Wow, that's extraordinarily not useful, but you can randomize them, so you can actually change them. They get traits. The traits determine certain things, so her work speed is slower, and she has a chemical interest, so she will, like if you say don't use drugs, she'll use them anyway. Let's see here. Can I actually get somebody? Okay, I guess. There we go. I was hoping this pop up. So something like this. This person has an old gunshot wound in their leg, so that they are going to be suffering some pain constantly from that. So that's just something, and occasionally you'll get somebody who's butt naked. What the heck is this? Let's pick somebody that's not... here we go. You got this person. She is the daughter of another person in our colony. And this is pretty important because you can actually get married and that sort of stuff. So she's incapable of dumb labor and cleaning. Let's see. Caring, I think, means you can't doctor anyone. And then, wow, this is not good. This is not a good start, actually, simply because if you've got a lot of people who can't do dumb labor, then they can't do certain things. And their traits are pretty weird. So this person, she likes heat, and her global work speed is higher. We'll go ahead and keep her because she's not... The dumb labor thing is a huge problem. You can basically stunt yourself if you have three people that are completely incapable of doing dumb labor. So make sure you don't do that. And I don't know how you would survive because you can't do stuff. Okay, essentially what happens here is your ship basically breaks down and you land. And here we are. So we're starting out with a husky named Lucia. We've got three people. And you got some various stuff. So it looks like we got some components and whatnot. Let's see, those are set silver. There's a plastic steel knife. We've got some medicine, a couple guns. This is some food and wood. This is food. This is packaged survival meals. Some food, some steel. Let's actually make that so they can actually handle this stuff. We've got steel and wood. And this is the map. Actually, hang on. There we go. You can see here we've got various like mountains that we can carve into. You've got some random structures that we've gone ahead and the world has generated. Here's a couple pieces of the spaceship. What is this? Ooh, we actually have water in this one. I'm actually kind of impressed. We don't generally have that. Some of the structures are built into the mountains. There's all sorts of things that can happen. Wow, there's a lot of water in this one. Various trees will spawn. Like these ones, we've got oak trees. Is that it? Oh no, we've got poplar trees, I think that's how it's pronounced. As well as these chunks, which can be used to make into like stone. Looks like we've got a grizzly bear, we've got turkeys, boom rats. They explode. It's exactly what they sound. It's exactly what it sounds like. We've got raccoons and squirrels in this one. Oh no. I was just watching a series of a story that the squirrels went mad, and that can happen. So that, just be aware of that. Rats. I think every map ends up with rats. And it looks like we've also got alpacas, and animals will wander in from the outside. I've ended up with emus. Ooh, here's some muffalo. They're kind of like buffalo. And you've got, if you click on the information key, it'll actually tell you about the different stuff, health, and like records if you have anything. Let's go ahead and get started here. So I started out next to like this little outcropping, it looks like. This is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and I think I can mine some of this out later. So let's go ahead and start a stockpile. So a stockpile, that's exactly what it sounds like. This is for stockpiling items. You're gonna want to create a pretty decent sized one. That way you can bring your people over. Let's see here. If you click on the character, yes, we need beds. Let's see. Shooting level 10. Go ahead and pick up the survival rifle. Ooh, and shooting level. Ooh, okay, so we've got 2 guns. So I'm gonna go ahead and equip our folks with some guns. And I'm gonna go ahead and equip Crane with the knife. You want to have some sort of weapon equipped to your people, because eventually we're gonna have problems. If you click on raspberry bushes, that's what these are, that have these little berries, and they're pretty good sized. It will say like 89% grown, or 75% grown. And these ones can actually be harvested, so we can actually harvest them. And it'll give us extra food. That's what'll happen there. And that's really good. And that's really a good thing to take care of when you first kind of land, is to start gathering various types of food, because we're gonna need food. And food always ends up being a problem. Well, look, we actually have deer as well. So there's a buck. There's a couple does. We got some rabbit. I don't generally hunt animals. Unless we've got some turtles, or it's a tortoise, sorry, as well. Unless they go crazy or, you know, that sort of thing. If you come really low on food, then I'll hunt. But I've found that planting things tends to be the easier way to go. Though you do need meat to train your animals, so just be aware of that. Okay, let's see here. We've got some stuff, and we are gonna need beds, and we're going to need some other stuff, but we definitely need beds to start with. We're gonna need walls too. So let's go ahead and we're gonna build some beds here. We're gonna put this. So the good thing about this type of floor, this is limestone. Fire won't necessarily travel on limestone, and you might be like, huh, so what? Just put the fire out. It's never that easy. Let me tell you that. You have different speeds. You've got, I don't know what these are called, but you've got 2 and 3. You can see people move pretty quick. But I tend to stay on, well, if I'm not doing something with someone, I'll stay on like 3. But it also depends, because that's generally not a good idea, in all honesty. You can chop down trees if you click on them. Actually, that one is not going to let me harvest. You can actually go to orders and say, hey, go chop some wood. Okay. Go ahead and chop a few trees. Because we need some wood. We have a lot, but we're gonna need more. And eventually I'll move away from wood and do stone. So there's a variety of things that we can actually make. We've got the beds. They will choose their own beds. Don't worry about that. We've got some structure. So we got walls and doors. If you right click, you can choose the type of wall or door you want to build, you know, using what supplies. To start out with, you're probably going to use wood because you're just not going to have the other supplies. I don't generally use steel simply because it's not a rare thing, but you're gonna need it for other stuff at a later point in time. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. What are you doing? You're just wandering. You can train your animals. You can see here. We've got obedience, which means that that's basically the start where your animal will be trained up. You've got release, rescue, and haul. So release means if there's an enemy, you can release the animal to go attack them. Rescue means they can rescue allies, and haul means they can move stuff from one place to the other. And that's really useful. I often try and train. Oh, look at this. We actually got a timber wolf too. Now the problem with carnivores, and we're not gonna have a problem right now because our husky, it will be safe. But other animals that you have, like smaller dogs, rabbits, they will often get attacked by carnivores. And that is a huge issue that I've had in the past. I actually got rams up here too. Wow, I'm just finding all sorts of animals. It's a problem. I hate it. It's just annoying. I'm gonna make a dumping stockpile zone over here. It looks like somebody's sick. That's what that is. Sorry. Actually, if you click on any person and click on health, I think that was from cryo sickness is what that was from. And that happens pretty often. Let's go ahead and build a door. So that way we will be all caged in here. Essentially, we'll have a house. We'll build a torch as well. That way it's not super dark inside. Now, if we go ahead and click on the toggle room stats display, you can actually see what the room is called. This is a barracks currently, and they're building a roof to go on said barracks. Impressiveness, wealth, space, beauty, and cleanliness. If it's dirty, your cleanliness will say it's dirty. Some people really like beautiful rooms. Actually, most people do. And if you don't have that, they'll get upset. Now, if you click on them, whoops, I toggled the wrong thing. And you go to needs, it'll actually say, you know, if a room is super empty or super dirty, they'll complain about it. If the room is too small, they'll complain about it. They'll do all sorts of complaining. Now, we do want to get a rooftop on because it will rain. It'll get hot, it'll get cold. Obviously, shelter is extraordinarily important in any survival situation. And we want to get that done before the first night. We want to have some sort of room. I don't think roofs take any supplies to create. So I think this room is now all roofed. Yes, it is. So we now have a place to sleep. And we're gonna go ahead and put an animal sleeping spot right there so our husky can come join us. Now these bushes are just bushes. I don't think they give you any supplies. Take that as you will. A couple things, you can actually click on the outside of these like mountain type things. We've got sandstone. You can see we've got compacted machinery here. That's really important. We're gonna want a lot of that. I think this is slate. We've got some jade over here. That's awesome. I'm still looking. There's one other thing. Okay, we've got compacted plastisteel over here. That's extraordinarily fantastic. We don't often find that right on the outside. Compacted steel, we're gonna need a lot of steel to get everything that we need. And then we've got a walled in area over here, which is interesting. That maybe can be a potential problem later, which will be, I don't know, I don't think we'll get there today. But it's definitely gonna be interesting. So now that we've got kind of a space started, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and mine a little bit. Open up this area right here. I'm gonna go ahead and do this and just kind of let people do their stuff. They're hauling things in. You can see the food's in here now. We're gonna need that. Let's go ahead and open this area up. It's getting dark. If I go ahead and pause, you can see that the areas are getting darker. Okay, now that that's done, if you click on production, there's a variety of things here. We've got sculptor's table, butcher's table, hand tailoring benches, electric stove, field stove, and a research table. So I actually want the research table because we're gonna want to research some stuff pretty quickly off the bat here. Ooh, and she's training the dog right now. So packaged survival meals will not go bad. That may not seem like an important thing, but it kind of is. And I'm actually, we've got a stack of 10 here, and I'm actually going to, if you click on this button, it'll actually show that it's forbidden now. And I'm going to do that because I want to make sure that we have some food available, and we can actually use some of the stuff that we will actually use the fresh supplies first before we use those. Don't worry, it's a pain. If you run out of food real quickly. And sometimes, oh, really? It's terrible. Sometimes they will eat food that is not going to spoil, rather than like the fresh foods. And that's pretty important to like try and head off if you can. I'm gonna go ahead and harvest some more berries. I will probably build a cooking station next. You can hear him working away. So now we have a simple research bench. If you click on work, you can see of all the people who can do all the stuff. We only have one person that can currently research. I'm okay with that right now. If you go to the research screen, you can see all the things that we can currently research. Stone cutting, passive cooler, brewing, smithing, all sorts of stuff. So a lot of these things are important that we're going to want. I'm gonna start with stone cutting because we're going to want stone. For the heads up, it's also 24-hour clock. I think you can turn that off, but I prefer the 24-hour clock myself. So let's just go ahead and fast forward a little bit. I think these guys are carrying stuff, and see, he's gone to bed and he's now actually claimed that bed. So that's good. Now, one of the things is, if you can, occasionally what will happen is these Z's will become red. That means that they're having disturbed sleep because somebody's moving around in their room. They don't like to share beds. Or like share a room. I don't really blame them. I can kind of understand why that might be frustrating for them. So we're going to want to clean that up for them ASAP, actually. All right, and so you can see they've gotten up, like one of the first person's gotten up. And if I click on them and say needs, you can see here that it says disturbed sleep because someone's been moving around. That's kind of going to be a problem. Things like disturbed sleep upsets people. They don't like that. Where are you going? I'm going to go harvest the raspberry bush, I see. So we're going to want to build some rooms for our folks so they don't have to deal with the disturbed sleep. And I don't know, how long does that last? That lasts for 11 hours. So that's a problem. We don't want that. And starting out so early, we really kind of want to help clean up some of that stuff as soon as we possibly can so our people aren't like super pissy all the time. And one of the things that I'm going to do, well, I'm going to let them sleep for right now. And go ahead and just do some of the berry picking because like I said, we're going to want a lot of this. Squirrel. The other thing I'm going to want kind of early on here is going to be a happiness object. I'm going to build a horseshoes pin. This will allow my folks to play horseshoes and their joy will go up a little bit. So they've got these little bars, food, rest, joy, beauty, comfort, and space. Obviously, food, rest, and joy are kind of the high ones to start out with. Joy represents something that's pleasurable, and horseshoes will actually qualify under that. So we're going to want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and start out by maybe carving out some of these areas. Eventually they'll probably be replaced with walls. But to start out with, I just want to carve out some of this. Maybe create 1 or 2 rooms. Obviously my guys are busy. Did you learn obedience already? Yes, okay. So I'm going to train him to haul. So that'll be good. Now, if we go ahead and check, you can actually see where your animals are being trained for, what they have currently been trained for, and where they are allowed to go. My animals are currently unrestricted. I'm cool with that. That'll change once I get other creatures. Animals have a tendency to domesticate themselves in this game. I always end up with crazy creatures. Like, I don't know how many capybaras actually decided to domesticate themselves last time I was playing. Go ahead and haul some of the stone out of here. So what'll happen is if we haul the stone away, is it'll actually be dumped into the Dumping stockpile zone. Alright, so we've got a break risk. Let's go see what his problem is. Let's see. He's feeling terrible. He's hungry. He was disturbed. He has a shared bedroom, and he ate without a table, and he's uncomfortable. So he's coming back. So he should probably... He's going to eat, which will make him happier. And that minor break risk should go away. Very close. Not quite. So one of the things we are actually going to do once we get this all taken care of is we are going to create a table. Let's see, we're gonna need some more wood. That is one thing. It's very clear. Go ahead and chop some trees down. Trees will plant themselves periodically. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward a little bit while he's finishing this up. We're gonna haul these out of here as well. Weather changes happen quite a bit. As of right now, it's clear outside, but eventually that will go away. So this has been pretty quiet so far. This is kind of just the starting point. We haven't had anything bad happen. We haven't really had anything good happen. We haven't had anything bad happen. We're just getting started out. And that's kind of how this game begins, in all honesty. You kind of start out with a basically a very quiet location. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of small, but it'll be a good starting point. And we're gonna go ahead and reinstall. We're going to build this in a minute, but actually I think we're gonna end up sleeping this evening. The dog went to bed. Alright, so they're gonna go to sleep again. And this will be the 3rd day that we're coming up on, which I think you can see if you hover. Oh, we've 1 day has passed since our arrival, so we're up on day 2 actually. I guess, no, it's day 3. It's just, we've been here, I don't know, whatever. Don't ask me. Alright, so, this is good. So basically what's happening here is that the game's saying that I need some defenses, because pirate raids will start soon. Basically, it was thinking pirate raids and defenses and tried to combine them. And it's telling us, hey, you need to prepare for this. So if you click on Architect and go to Security, you can see there's a couple things. We've got sandbags and we've got deadfall traps. So sandbags basically are cover from fire, and then, or from like gunfire, and traps basically are, well, traps. In this case, I'm not going to build any defenses to start out with because we don't really need them usually. Actually, let me cancel that. Put it here. Usually the first people you get that try and raid your village are usually melee attackers, so you just use your gunmen to take them out. Not a big deal. That Timberwolf needs to shuffle elsewhere. These guys will, carnivores will kill other animals in the area and eat them, so just a heads up. That is, one thing to look at. I don't think he'll attack my husky, but I'm also not holding my breath that he will not. So another thing I'm gonna build is I'm actually gonna go ahead and build a fueled stove. I would like an electric stove, but we haven't quite gotten that far yet. Though at this point I can actually build power. You can see I've got solar generators and batteries, so I can do that. I've got fuel generators as well, though I do prefer solar myself simply because it works passively during the daytime. Now the problem with that is solar obviously doesn't work at night, so. Alright, so now that we have a fueled stove, you can actually go in here, and if you go click on bills, add bill, you can actually add different meals, and each meal type does something specific. So we can actually cook some simple meals. Now, simple meals are just kind of better than eating raw food, especially if you've got meat, because they will eat raw meat and they will get sick. So I'm also going to build a short table. I'm going to plop that right there. And I'm going to put in, which way is this chair facing? Okay. I'm going to put in a couple chairs for them to eat on. Well, to sit on so they can eat, I guess. This is really how that goes. When a bush or something like this has this like 60 out of 120, that means it's dying. There's something you can really do to solve that problem. It's just how life works. But they will sprout up other places, and that'll be good. Did you just walk on that table? What was that? Now that I have tables and I'll have chairs, they can actually eat while sitting down, which will make them specifically like super happy. So that'll be really good. Go fast forward a little bit here. Let's see. So they're currently learning how to haul items. That'll be the first thing that we want. Now eventually these guys can actually get a bond with people. Looks like Lumi is the one that they have bonded, and that'll make them happy actually, because it'll give them a little bonus that hey, they basically are, this person owns the dog. So okay, we've got a couple simple meals, so I'm gonna go ahead and just block off another set of these survival meals. That should be good for now, make people happy. Now meals expire in 3 days, so just be careful that you do need to eat them. Eventually we will build a refrigerator, so no worries. And you can see she's sitting down now, which will make her happy. She is in an ugly environment though, so she's not too happy about that. So our first thing we've got here is actually some visitors. If you go ahead and click jump to your location, you can see the people that are here. If they have a question mark, that means that they can actually trade with you. So you can actually click on them, take a person, right click, and you can actually trade with those people. That could be useful because they might have things that you require. As of right now, we don't really have much to trade. I'm gonna go ahead and just fast forward a little bit here as people are working. Eventually they will get here. You can see that they're coming over here. I don't know, I think it's because you've got this, show you this zone area. If I show you expand home zone, you can see that there's this blue area. That is the location that we're living. So we've gone ahead and finished stone cutting. So we go ahead and click on research screen, it'll pop up, and we can choose the next thing that we want. Now, there's a few things that we probably really want. Passive coolers, I'm going to go ahead and start to research. And let's go ahead. So Lumi's cleaning. Crane isn't doing anything right now. Let's go ahead and trade. And you can see it'll pop up here with a little thing, and you can see anything that's going to the right is going to the trader, anything going to the left is coming to you. So you can see here they're selling medicine, a charge rifle, and a couple hats, and some survival meals. The silver, this is how much food we have, or how much money we have, and this is how much they have. Doesn't look like they really want too much of like supplies, and I don't really care for any of this stuff right now, and I do want to keep the silver because we're gonna need that not only for other, purchasing other stuff, but also for some floors for our hospital. You go to architect and click floors. There's like a whole bunch of different things. You've got your basic wood floor, you got concrete, paved steel. The big thing here is sterile tile. Actually keeps people from getting infections. That's extraordinarily important. We want to make sure we don't do that. Gold, silver, metal, and there's some other ones that we can unlock later as well. And they're gonna wander around outside. Gonna go ahead, and these guys look like they're just relaxing. So yeah, occasionally they will sit around and just relax. You can see that they're not doing anything right now. I'm okay with that because they're gonna be going to bed shortly anyway. We're just gonna chit chat. Now let's click on Lumi and see. It's an ugly environment, but it's not too small. I will probably open up one more of these. So what can happen is your people can actually get married. They can fall in love and get married. So we'll want to make sure that we have enough room. So if they do that, we can actually build a double bed here. Now we do have a royal bed, which we probably won't be able to build because you need gold, as you can see. You can put it down, you just can't do it. And with the double bed, we can definitely build and probably do that. I don't think any of these guys have any relationships. And you can see, how they're getting along. So it's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and drag these over. So one thing we just unlocked is we actually unlocked the stone cutters table, which we're gonna need because we're gonna want to build these chunks into blocks. All right, then we can finally give the community a name. He called it Sleepville. What do we want to call this? Sleepville. I'm gonna call it Sleepy Hollow. Good grief. Sleepy Hollowville. There we go. Sleepy Hollowville. Alright, you can see she's playing horseshoes. If you click on her, you can see she's playing horseshoes through this tree. Actually, just get rid of that tree then, jeez. Let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit here. Can you get up? That would be really great. Not gonna happen apparently. Let's go ahead. I'm going to carve out a little bit more space in here. He is building rooftops as we go. And we're gonna go ahead and expand this a little bit. And what we're gonna do here is we're actually going to build a stone cutter's bench. It's the wrong button. To actually get started here, because we're gonna want some supplies. Now the big thing here is our thing's actually getting a little full. Let's actually go ahead and cook a few more simple meals as well. There we go. So we can now, if you go here, you can click add build and make stone blocks. And what they will do is somebody will take one of those blocks and actually turn it into stone. Now who's gonna do that? It would be Lumi. Wow, you people don't have anything selected. I'm gonna go ahead and select that and this. Let's see here. Some stuff can happen, like people can do it and they'll gain skills over time. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. And actually something else I want to do, if you go to area zone, you can click on growing zone. And let's go ahead and let's see here. Let's just start a 5x5 area where we're gonna grow some potatoes. So we've got 6 more meals right now. And you can see he's now completed some stones. So you can see here, we've got 20 limestone blocks, so we can now use those. If we go to floors, for example, we've got some limestone tile. We can create 5 floor tiles. I just want to show you guys what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Haul this out of there too. So that person will pick it up and they'll put basically the areas that's where the stones will go. And now you can see we've got some limestone tile there. So that's pretty cool. Now they're also they're actually planting the potato plants. You don't need seeds or anything like that. That's kind of nice. So what will happen is these plants will grow. You can see that they've got a growth rate. They're going at 100%. And once they get to 100%, they will go actually chop down the plants and put them into this little area. And actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit and make this area. They do clean kind of automatically, which is really nice. Go ahead and we can actually expand our stockpile zone. There we go, see? That way we've got some little extra room for when we need to put stuff down. All right, let's go ahead and pause real quick here. Says a local rat has gone mad and will attack everyone it sees. This is the first bad thing to happen. So if we go down here and you click on here, you can see it says maddened Mad Hunter. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna click hunt on this. And you can see here that this guy is just booking it. And he's actually booking it up to our area. So this guy, what do you have? He's got the survival rifle. He's going to hunt this guy. The problem with this is he's moving a little quick, actually. Let's just go ahead and draft him, actually, and start trying to take him out. All right, so that was actually super simple. He's dead. Let's go ahead and undraft this guy, and he's going to go ahead and he's going to take the body to here. Now, I don't have it yet, so let's go ahead and create a butcher's table. That's not what I want. I'll figure out my buttons eventually, don't worry. We're gonna put down a butcher's table. We don't have enough wood to actually build the butcher's table, but we actually want to build one. Now, rat meat won't kill you, believe it or not. Go ahead and chop those trees down. Okay, so go ahead and pause for a second here. The butcher's table will allow you to butcher animals and make kibble. So kibble is a mixture of meat and plant food, and butcher creature just is butcher creature. So I'm gonna go ahead and select butcher creature, and whoever can cook, will actually butcher. I'm kind of don't really care about who's cooking at this point. So they're gonna pick up the rat and they're going to butcher him. And they've got blood, and now we have some rat meat. Ta-da! So that's actually kind of cool. Now, meat here actually spoils really quickly, so it's just a thing that you have to be careful about. Now, it is a quick and easy way to actually train your dog with, so hopefully they'll do that. Okay. Well, I just kind of wanted to show this off because I'm going to be hopefully doing a little series with this, kind of showing off some of the bad stuff. I like this little room all the way in the corner. Kind of doing like the story from here because we've gotten started. We have a lot more that can possibly happen. And these games can go on for a while, but I think I've chosen a pretty good set that, you know, stuff will probably happen, things will go down, and I will probably get owned. I don't know how often I've died in these games, but I've lost my people really quickly. Bad things can happen. You can get the plague, you can get malaria. They just recently introduced drugs, which is kind of strange, but actually kind of cool because you can like make joints and like other drugs that are similar to like cocaine, which I think is really kind of cool. And I haven't really explored all of that, and I've never really gotten to an end game where I've just been completely decimated, but I've gotten really close and like barely managed to survive. So I'm kind of interested to see what you guys think of this. It's a really fun game. It's in the beginning of it, it's rather quiet, as you've seen, as I've started to build up some of this stuff. But I've got a really good starting kind of bit here. I've got a room, I've got the different production stuff that I need, I've got wood and food being the primary problem. I've had games where like right off the bat I've had problems, but luckily it doesn't seem to be happening this time. It's almost always a mad animal or a small raid to start with. So I'm really glad it was a rat and not something worse. Like, oh, we don't have them in this one. There's boomalopes. Oh, yes we do. They're right down here. These guys when they explode have like a circle of fire. It's terrifying. You have to take care of that. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of this. I'm probably gonna be doing another episode as I get a little bit later into the game, to show you guys, you know, how, I don't know, maybe I'll do this Wednesday and Thursday. I haven't decided. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I'll be back with another episode of this when I'm further on in the game, kind of improved on some of this stuff when like all the bad things really start happening. And I'll see you next time.